All right, guys, welcome to the MMA Fight Game Podcast. We are here with a very good friend of the channel, of the page, The Starched. He is currently ranked number one in the Northeast, number one in New York as a mixed martial artist. He is competing on a massive, massive card next Saturday, August 19th, at Attica Veteran Memorial Park in Attica, New York, for the Attica Take Down, sponsored by Takedown Tree Service of Western New York. This fight could potentially have in a small town between 2,000 and 5,000 people out there watching all these athletes compete. Nat Kabba is also going to be fighting for the Full Contact Promotions Kickboxing Heavyweight Championship. He is currently the reigning Full Contact Promotions Heavyweight Champion, as well as also the K4 Heavyweight Champion. And if you don't know, you have to go to our page and look at his viral knockout from that fight. It was amazing. Nat, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Doing good, bro. I can't complain.
What's that money sign? You looking to get some
money
paid?
I need to get paid, bro. Nah. Fucking shout out Johnny Manziel, bro. Gave me a lot of motivation. Yeah, man. Fucking money, bro. That's what the world is built around, and yeah, that's what the hell I need a part of. So
one of the questions that I have is that, you know, you did 4-0. We had discussions, and then you wanted to take kickboxing versus like mixed martial art bouts. Why is that?
You know, I just came up with my own plan. Honestly, it was kind of like, but I'm not gonna say my own plan. It kind of everything that said when it started kind of happened naturally. Just as far as just how, you know, matchups and stuff like that. And then it was kind of like, all right, my last two went against some the best sets around here, and did that. And it's kind of like, well, I didn't want to continue doing MMA and not get paid. So I was kind of like, I want to stay active. I want to just kind of stay in that competition mode and just, I don't know, like, let me just try something else, you know? Like, I mean, you look at any of the greatest mixed martial artists, they've done other sports outside of MMA. So kind of took that approach, like, let me just try it. And I mean, like, you know, on the outside looking in, you might think like, oh yeah, like, you know, this should be easier because of this, or hey, this might be harder because of this. But like in all reality, each sport is its own sport. Like we could even watch the Nate Diaz and Jake Paul fight, right? Like if you're an MMA fan, oh well, I mean, I watched it. I mean,
I read it. I'm not buying into that circus sideshow shit.
I mean, listen, but even outside of that, it's just like it was a Nate Diaz looked like he was winning, but in boxing terms, he wasn't winning. You know what I mean? So boxing is its own sport, kickboxing is its own sport, jiu-jitsu is its own sport, MMA is its own sport. So, and if you're trying to be a true mixed martial artist, I mean, why not dabble in other things, just test yourself, you know what I mean? Or you could just do MMA, like do what you want to do. But for me, I was like, yo, I want to stay active. I don't want to get fat in the summertime and just, you know, there's just a lot to do in the summer. And I'm just like, I just want to stay in the gym, you know? So, yeah.
Now looking at this card, I mean, obviously we have our ears to the ground. What does it mean to you to compete on this card? Because there is a lot of amazing mixed martial arts as a whole on this card that Bubba and company have put on for August 19th. What does that mean? And if the crowd that we're anticipating comes out, what does that mean to compete against almost like a UFC attended crowd, like for a fight night or something like that? Maybe a little less, but I mean, if there's 5,000 people in a small town of Attica, New York, that's it's really impressive.
It means a lot. I mean, it's just I think this is their first time in Attica. Am I wrong?
Yes, no, you're right.
So the first time in Attica, and it's just like I think it's a monumental kind of, you know, just being able to be a part of history and just keep pushing the sport forward, especially, you know, the amateur scene, but just in general, the sport. And, you know, the more eyes it's on there and the more fighters, you know, it creates for more opportunity for for just something great to happen. You know what I mean? You mix in the fans, and you mix in just having a lot of fighters and getting all that energy put together. And, you know, it's the summertime. I can only imagine there's going to be a lot of good highlights and just good fights overall. So just being able to just be a part of that, just for not just only myself, I imagine everybody else as well. I think we can all say, like, you know, it's a platform to go out there and showcase our skills. So.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. And, you know, the main event is actually an exhibition pro K1 kickboxing fight featuring Rozeski and Williams. You know, having those guys that are professionals, you know, there are rumors on the street that, you know, eventually 2024, potentially early 2025, you yourself are looking to go pro. What does that mean to be around those guys and talk to them and get some wisdom from them and some knowledge bombs?
I'm more so probably be like the fly on the wall, you know what I mean? And just and really just get to take in, hopefully I'm in a room with one of those guys, you know, where they have us warm up at and stuff. And even just kind of just being around when we have the meeting, you know, before the fights and all that good stuff like that. Just yeah, I'm more of a fly on the wall kind of guy, you know what I mean? I draw inspiration from seeing people where I want to be at eventually, you know what I mean? And yeah, just kind of going from there and looking at their rights and looking at their wrongs and just trying to assess really. But yeah, I'm excited about that though. That should be a banger. So
yeah, and talk to me about your opponent Hill. What are your expectations for Saturday night against him in the heavyweight championship bout for a full contact?
I expect him just to come out and just be prepared to fight. I think I don't know if he's had another kickboxing fight. I don't think so. So, you know, it's just kind of like, it's different than MMA, you know what I mean? I got to experience that one other time. So, and just kind of see what that's all about. And it's just different, you know what I mean? It's different the way it's scored, the way the fight kind of goes, the pace. So, I expect him to come out and fight and just, you know, hopefully go all 3 rounds, you know what I mean? Don't, you know, hey, you might get tired up in there. You know, we're going to be outside, I think, too, so that's going to be a different element. And it's beautiful, too, because I don't know, gets to allow us to check things off the box. But I don't really know what to expect. I just expect for it to be a fight. And I expect for myself to go out there and just do what I know I can do. And, yeah, just hopefully magic happens and we get something beautiful out of it, so.
Yeah, you know, he's actually kind of doing the same game plan as you. You know, he's had 3 MMA fights. His last MMA fight was a TKO loss in round 3, like right at the very end of the round. And now he's taking this bout against you in kickboxing. Now, you recently took a kickboxing bout with a different promotion. Obviously, it didn't end your way, but you know, this is the reason you're doing these things is to learn and grow from those. You got, you know, what was that experience like? And what was the post-fight banner that you guys had? Because I saw the video of it.
No, it was a cool experience, honestly. It was just yeah, it was different. It was different, but yeah, he just, you know, it's not a real fight. You know what I mean? It's not a real fight, but it's still a art form that I just want to get that back. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like I can dabble in if I dedicated myself to kickboxing purely, I think I could dabble with it and make it happen. But at the end of the day, I'm an MMA fighter, and you know, at the end of the fight, you know, it's just one of those situations where that's probably the best moment in his life. And yeah, you know what I mean? Hopefully his girl pleasured him well after that fight, because that's probably the best thing that ever happened to him. And yeah, that's basically what I was kind of telling him. Hey, it's not a real fight, bro. You know, so I'll be intrigued to see where you're at in 3 to 5 years. So
yeah. No, absolutely. And what did you learn from that fight, and then you're going to take from what you learned in that fight to this fight?
Yeah, not even just this fight, just any like, bro, I learned literally not even just the fight itself, just like even the lead up to it, and just, you know, yeah, it's just I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and you know, one thing I'll be able to take back to when I do transpire and transverse back to MMA is just I take a lot, bro. You know what I mean? It's a good fight for me because I got to check off a box as far as like fighting somebody that was like, you know, 6'6", 6'5", you know, like actual, you know, like it's all these different things, right? You know what I mean? So it's a lot that I get to take, not only just for this next fight, but just like throughout my whole career until I get to this big show. You know, even when I get there, you know, just looking back, be able to say, hey, like I took my first loss, you know what I mean? And like me taking the first loss, like it didn't change me, you know what I mean? Like I remember like before when I first started, like, bro, if I lose, like, you know, it's in all of us, right? When you first doing it, it's like you get knocked out, you lose, like, fuck, you know, like holy, but it happened. I remember I was kind of like, I mean, it was messy. It felt shitty, but it was more so like, listen, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It really wasn't, it wasn't the competitor in me was obviously hurt, but more so I looked at it, it's a L isn't always a L, bro. It's really a lesson, you know what I mean? Like it's your perspective, like glass half full or half empty. So yeah, but it was cool though.
Yeah, you know, even we talked offline before we jumped on, you know, recording. You know, we talked about the Contender Series and the heavyweight bout. You know, one of the guys that fought last night, I think he had like 50 kickboxing bouts on top of his MMA, and he didn't have a perfect record either. I think he was like 49-8. Don't quote me on this, but you know, he had some losses. There's a girl who's fighting this week on UFC Fight Night, former LFA champion Jacqueline Amorim. You know, she had her first UFC fight, and I was high as a kite on her. I still am, you know, but she took an L in her debut. But a loss, like you said, doesn't define who you are. As long as you learn and you grow from that, you're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
and it's at the amateur. It's at an amateur ranks. I mean, anytime you step in the cage, it's a fight, but it's amateur. And amateur is where you learn, you grow your craft until you're ready to make it to that next level. If you're good enough to make it that next level, which, based on the rumors on the street, this potentially could be the last time the New York crowd can see you in the amateur ranks, which is what I'm hearing on the streets. I haven't got any confirmation of that yet, and I know you won't say nothing to me.
I don't know. Listen,
you're holding those cards tight to the vest.
Yeah. No, listen, I don't know. We're gonna see how the cards play out, but man, it would be lovely to start getting paid. But you know, we gotta see how these things play out. But to add on what you were saying, as far as the dude that had the kickboxing that fought in the Contender Series, like he had like 40 plus fights and he's only 3-0 in MMA. You know what I mean? It's like he's new to MMA, and it's like I said, man, if you're really trying to test yourself in this sport, are really everybody that even the grapplers, right? They've wrestled before. They wrestling is different than MMA. They've done judo, they've done sambo, they've done something outside of just fighting MMA. So I think it's definitely important just to expose yourself, man. Expose yourself. That's what life is about, exposing yourself. So you have to expose yourself because, I mean, it's levels to this stuff. Even if we're all trying to get in this sport to get to the highest levels, man. You get to the UFC, it's not, you think everybody wants the glitz and glamour, you know, like I want to be a pay-per-view star. I want to be, you know, understand what comes with that, bro. Being in front of millions of people. Like if you don't check off certain boxes before getting it, you think you're about to get in front of millions of people and perform. Hey, if you think you're built like that, awesome, cool. But it's levels of things. And like you definitely can, don't get me wrong, but you just even Conor McGregor, bro, he did boxing. He did XYZ before, you know what I mean? Like it's so many things that go into things behind the scenes before the general public or the massive public eye gets a hold of it, if that makes sense. So
yeah, absolutely. And you know, we're definitely looking forward to seeing you fight next weekend, August 19th, at the Attica Veterans Memorial Park at the Attica Takedown service, sponsored by Attica Takedown is the event, sponsored by Takedown Tree Service of Western New York, in a massive card that the town is a buzz about. You are one of the marquee bouts on the card, obviously hyping you up because, you know, you're close to making that jump. Obviously, Full Contact Promotion has had a history of getting some professionals coming out of there, that their names are out there in the media now.
That's another thing too, man. I'm thankful for like, I feel like it's like I'm making a lap. I'm making a lap, so I'm super thankful. Like, if I started my first fight with full contact, and could potentially end my last fight with full contact. So, I think it's definitely yeah, it's special. And then, like I said, this card is like, for them to be doing this, like, just giving us a platform to be able to be in front of thousands of eyes and opportunity to, and honestly, it's crazy, right? Like, shout out you as well. Let's, you're always tooting everybody else's horn. Let's shout out you. Like, when I first started with full contact, I remember, it was the social media presence wasn't there. You know what I mean? It was things that just wasn't what it is now. And, even with your guys' last show it was a testament of, like, after a fight happened, just getting stuff out, getting it out. And it's important to just how these fighters are pouring their lives and heart and soul into this sport. It's important to, we can't get paid, right? So the least that can happen is, like, hey, if you guys are in here making a show, hey, let's get you out there. Let's put yourself, because all it is it's a snowball effect, right? Like, these kids are out here, they're putting their heart and body and soul on the line, and then they do something massive on your card. It's like, it draws eyes to you. So the least you could do is, hey, let's get these guys' names out there. So let's, like, you always tune everybody else's horn, man. Let's you've the things that you've done behind the scenes just to elevate, and not even in, I think, what, a 6-month span, maybe. You know what I mean? Not even
since March, when you fought Appleby in full contact, I was behind the scenes, but we took it when it was ESL. But it's like that old adage, to have an amazing harvest, you got to plant thousands of little seeds, and they all come to harvest, and bang, you get that growth. But I really appreciate your time today. We're definitely looking forward to watching you compete. It's actually my second time seeing you compete, but I'm definitely looking.
The first time you almost had a heart attack.
The first time, yeah, you did give me a little heart attack, down those rounds, and then, just staying true to yourself. And, I might have a career as a cornerman, because, we got that reversal, and then bang, that viral head kick knockout happened, which was awesome. So
yeah,
it was good. But Nat, I appreciate it. Sit tight, all right?
I got you.